Hello, I'm Lydia Buck, and this is my discussion video. Um, our first question for the discussion was, what is on our mind related to this week's readings, and what stuck out to me? I think a lot of it really stuck out to me. Trying to learn about what makes people tick, what makes us who we are, and why we do what we do is really interesting, and I feel really interested to learn about if there's a rhyme or reason behind the things that I do or my habits and the habits and interactions I have with my loved ones and everything. Something that really stuck out to me is when they talked about how the personality is something that exists and resides within the individual and something that is consistent and stable over time for the most part, and then how our personality is kind of based on how we interact and receive information like from our environment. And I feel like that makes a really big difference because I feel like my personality would be far different than it is now had I never moved away from my small town and my family, because I got to experience a lot more cultural diversity moving to a large metropolitan area, which was Washington, D.C. And I feel like that gave me a much more open view of the world. And I feel like that was a really big growing point for my personality and helped me change, honestly, I think, for the better. Another question we were going to address is, how do the readings pertain to you in your own life? Well, besides my personality change when I moved, I also feel like it pertains to me when we talked about questionnaires to gather data to measure personality. And one of my first jobs when I finished high school, it wasn't my very first job, but my first serious job, I got my phlebotomy certificate and I started working for a blood banking company in Arizona. And when I was going through their new hire process, they had me fill out a personality questionnaire. And the first one was how I think I see myself. The second one was how I think others would see me. And that's one and only time I've ever been evaluated personality wise to see how I would fit in with their organization. So it was really interesting to see that come up, and it got to click for me, like, okay, they're trying to measure my personality. Do I disagree with the authors on any topics? Honestly, I did not. I thought a lot of the things that they said made sense about human nature and how biology can play a part in our personalities. And I would think it'd be really interesting to see how biology could play a part in the personality of twins, like it mentioned in the readings as well. I find that would be really interesting. I know a set of fraternal twins, and typically, they don't share exactly the same of everything. They're not identical. So, but the ones that I know, they look like they're identical. I would have swore they were identical twins, and their personalities are so incredibly similar, and they have the same sexual orientation. So I think it'd be very interesting to see how all of that plays out together. And then what questions do I still have? What would I like to delve into more? I thought that the idea of the intrapsychic domain was really interesting. The mechanisms of our personality that exist outside of our consciousness, the things that we do that we're not even aware of. So I feel pretty excited to learn about all of this. Feel very intrigued.